Remember, this entire manga and every manga on this channel is hand-drawn by myself, and now you too can learn exactly how to make your own viral Dragon Ball mangas at www.makemanga.com, where you can learn directly from me. My mangas have got me on TV, on newspapers, and even earned me over $60,000 a month on Patreon alone. And now, you can click the link in the description and pinned comment of this video and do it yourself. You only need to see the website to see just how many thousands of you are taking this opportunity right now. And don't forget also, the next video to this Ultra Vegito series has already been made and is live now on my Patreon right now for over 4,500 of you incredible fans to watch after this. Again, links are in the pinned comment and description. Enjoy. So our story continues with Royal Vegito, now in his latest and seemingly last form, having emerged after just absorbing the life force and energy of the royal guards of Zeno. Floating gracefully in the sky, he would look down, now almost completely taken over by the darkness of Lucif, and say, "The energy from that last angel, GT. Now that was something. I knew it would take a while. Next to die, that has to be the pinnacle of seraphim energy. With this counteracting angel presence, tapping into Lucif's power should be nothing to fear. Use it wisely, Vegeta."
Damn Saiyan!
As behind Vegito, not oblivious to the truth behind his words, the devil, Lucif himself, in his giant state, would just concede.
Do what you will with my energy. Achieve your goals. But just know, this is far from over.
But equally as pleased as Vegito, the prince, now with his very own seraphim eye finally, after Vegito had given him some of the Royal Guard's energy, would ecstatically stand with his fist raised, and a smirk letting out.
"Oh, don't you worry. I've been waiting for this opportunity for a while now. So this is what that damn angel power I was denied is like, huh? Well, it may not be under the circumstances I wanted, but all that matters is that I'll finally get to show Kakarot up once again!
Vegeta! But being left with more concern than enthusiasm like the other two, Goku would just stare on bemused and mutter, "GT. So his seraphim energy is what they're going to use to keep Lucif in control. But is that really going to be enough? Both of them, they're way stronger than before. They went past me. Again. My student, ripped apart and made unto you god killers as if they were just spare parts. I will avenge you both, Z and S." As looking above, the visible dismay of Dai would become clearer and clearer to all those around him. And without cause to hear any more, closing his once gritted teeth mouth, the one true angel would begin vanishing. And perhaps surprisingly, or in a show of utter confidence and lack of fear for the God Killer, Dai would meet in the air face to face with Vegito and his new form. The two white-haired warriors staring deeply into one another's eyes, almost having a battle mentally in another dimension first, before in the physical realm, Vegito would let out,
"So, seems you don't respect the power I possess now. Now that I not only have the greatest of demon energies, but the very greatest of angel energies also. Do you really think you'll stand a chance now? Let alone once the other two get involved. Give up, and your death can be swift."
To which Dai, his face unflinching, not even a droplet of sweat falling, would just reply, "What is there to fear of my own creations? Every angel you have despicably taken into yourself is made of my energy, my teachings. Everything you know, I knew millennia before, and what came from angels shall ultimately return to them. Just as Lucifer's corrupted angel energy, what you now call demon energy, shall come back to me too. You stand before not another god in your path to vengeance, but the father of all angels, God Killer. And now that we are alone on the battlefield, now there will be no more tricks for you to bring out, and no more places for you to hide. At this very moment, you still remain Vegito. Take your revenge as you are now, as the same mortal that we gods forsake. For if you truly do give in to Lucifer, you will only feed me what is mine. Do you understand?" This statement causing Dai's teeth to grit once more. Unclear whether he truly believes what he says, or if he's just bluffing. Interesting. But regardless, this threat would only serve to amuse Royal Vegito, as all three of his seraphim eyes, almost peering through to Dai's heart, would then just allow him to smirk and reply, "All this time, you have begged and begged for me to not allow Lucifer's takeover. Yet here you are now, threatening me, saying if I do, that it will only benefit you. Yes, you may have taken some of Vegeta's power, but you have to remember,
he is nothing compared to me."
And with their words exchanged, nothing would be left now but to prove what they say, as both well and truly knowing they are in the endgame would power up to their utter limits. The chosen vessel of the devil himself, Lucifer, against the younger brother and now most powerful angel in all of Universe 1 to 12. Huh? What? Ooh. And on the instant of their magnificent power-up, the after effects would be no ordinary ones either, as immediately just the light emanated would flash enough to light up the entire realm, leaving Seraphim Goku, Nephilim Vegeta, and Zeno himself all to watch on wide-eyed and in awe, their entire bodies lost in the illustrious light, one by one. the flashbang of their immense power-up would fade, the atmosphere and weather itself would all react just as ferociously, causing thunder to crash all around the ground, as intense waves of pressure and wind would blow forward in all directions until...
You're kidding! Vegito! This is what you were hiding? Die! You too!
Instantly causing both Seraphim Goku and Nephilim Vegeta to be blasted away from the Force alone, both completely taken by surprise as they witnessed the utter difference in their power levels, having thought previously they were somewhat close, at least to the one true angel. Woo! Die! Keep going! As even the fragile Omni King is now also then thrown away like a paper bag. Without any guards or angels to help him, he's more or less helpless too, to the aftermath of the legendary battle taking place. But back with the two titans, Vegito would make his first move, launching a punch point blank. But Dai's all-seeing eyes would allow him to weave just in time.
What?
But rather than just counterpunch, the angel would opt instead to grab onto the God Killer's blackened arm. But in that instant, Vegito would realize what this was, as he would then think,
This is how he absorbed Vegeta before! Get real! I'm not as stupid as those two clowns!
As suddenly, the pointed long hair of Vegito then unbelievably curve and sharpen, and shoot straight forward to die. But as the katana-sharp strands of hair would pierce their objective, at the very moment of impact, the one true angel would escape. Intriguing move! Straight out of Lucifer's playbook, demon! Leaving the God Killer with his hair flushed over his face, leaving only one eye with vision, as the Grand Priest would appear directly behind, with his hand mysteriously placed in spear position. Divine Cannon! As with one sudden and breakneck blast from behind, the angel would launch a powerful beam that blasts directly through the demon Saiyan's chest, smashing through as if the Saiyan were as malleable as butter, and suffice to say, leaving Vegito stunned momentarily.
Aiming for my heart again, are you?
Causing the demonic Saiyan to stare down now at the gaping hole in his chest. As still behind him, and now admiring his work, Dai would just laugh. I'm long past defeating you that way. Forget Zeno's game, these dragons within us. Just hearing and seeing you scream in pain is enough cause for me, especially as you begin to use more of Lucifer's techniques so brazenly. Consider this brotherly bonding. I was merely making a place for me in your heart.
Brotherly bonding? Sure, I can make that happen.
But Vegito, on hearing this, would curiously then suddenly let off a devious smirk, turning his head back as his teeth bare. What is this despicable creature talking about now? This change in mannerism from agony, however, would just annoy the priest, as he would be left cautious over what those words would mean from the God Killer.
If brotherly love is what you want, then come here, brother!
As without warning, Vegito himself would then begin to grab the one true angel by his shoulders, paralyzing the priest there and then as he would grip tightly, sinking his sharp fanged fingers in, and his body seemingly beginning to shake until...
Come closer! Let's spend some real time together! Die! What are you?
Before instantly, Vegito's entire body would begin to deform violently, his arms enlarging in an instant, gripping tightly around Dai's neck. Before...
There we go!
As if trapping the Grand Priest in a giant sack, Vegito would completely cover the entire body of Dai in a stretchy substance, reminiscent of Boo, but now completely black in color, as if a far more powerful Lucifer strengthened variant. But though the angel would look completely succumbed, the lone demon red seraphim eye he would possess would manage to push back a hole within the black sludge, instantly creating a brief chink in the armor until... With that one weak link, Vegito would notice the existence of a shining light and energy beginning to push back ever so slightly. And with a ferocious roar of triumph, Dai would ultimately explode completely from the entrapment with his divine energy expansion alone, blowing Vegito up to shreds in the process.
Disgusting creature! My eye!
And as Dai would eventually emerge unscathed, he would reflect on the danger he was just put in, while mysteriously leaving his right red demon eye closed, as if it were in pain. Vegito, meanwhile, though, would be left as nothing but pieces of black muck, splashing onto the floor. But as you would expect, this would only be short-lived, and would be far from the end for the God Killer, as not even moments later, the individual bits of black sludge would then tremble and fly up quickly to combine in the sky.
Vegito! Did you die?
All the while, both Goku and Vegeta would just stare in near silence, both shocked by something they see, and it seems to be with respect to both Vegito and the priest, but what it would be yet to be known. But as the signature laugh of Ultra Vegito would be heard once more, his reformation back into one piece would be complete, as looking into his hands, he would begin ominously saying,
Well, that was a good little experiment. Seems Lucifer has some similar abilities to Boo after all. And your divine energy you bragged about doesn't seem to burn him away. I guess you weren't lying about him being a fallen angel. But I think the real result here is me getting back the energy that is mine. Thanks for that, Dai. You can open your eye now.
As suddenly, when Dai would finally open his right eye, just as Vegito had asked, we would all see it no longer would be red. With whatever demon energy had been absorbed from Vegeta, now having gone straight back into the God Killer. And Dai himself, even without a mirror, would instantly detect the missing energy he so craved be gone also.
How dare you!
And with a vicious roar, like he was an addict who had just been rejected his fix, Dai would launch at Vegito at that very instant with pure fury. And just like that, their monstrous battle would continue, clashing and exchanging blows all over the sky, as now the thunder itself would begin mimicking their energies, turning black in thunder and destroying the battlefield below. Vegeta, you ready? Let's back him up. Finally leaving Goku, who has now recovered, to quickly look to his fellow Saiyan for assistance, as the prince, looking back, would give a nod and reply,
I'm better than ever, Kakarot! Let's end this nightmare once and for all! Stay where you are!
But yet again, even while mid-battle, the God Killer would have other plans, as looking back, he would yell at them,
You two are not needed yet! You'll have your time! For now, keep watch over Zeno! These gods can't be trusted! While I'm finishing this, I won't be able to stop that runt from backstabbing us! Don't worry, Dai ends with me!
and proving his point exactly in a show of complete dominance, Vegito would then proceed to strike Dai 3 different times viciously, each time leading to a colossal impact that forces the angel to groan in pain. Eventually being pushed back to the point he has some space, with one eye open and leaking with blood from his mouth, he would finally have time to introspect.
No! No! This combination of powers, Lucifer, the Saiyans, the gods, the angels, and even the gods, it's become too much, especially now that he has reabsorbed what I had gained. This cannot end like this. I need that energy back. I need it!
And as Dai would think to himself, a silence would fall on the battlefield, as the God Killer would watch on, amused by the clearly panicked and damaged face of the one true angel, with him eventually then giving off a smirk and giggling.
I've seen this look before, on every god and angel, just before I destroyed them. The energy of your elder brother is truly potent, isn't it? Just the mere act of taking it from you and adding it to me has tilted the tables already. You feel helpless, and your energy is weakening by the minute. At this point, I could let those two finish you off themselves. But then, it wouldn't be my revenge. You're delusional!
Immediately garnering a reaction from Dai, but with his breaths getting deeper and deeper, and his panting increasing, inside he would realize the God Killer is saying the truth, as he would mutter,
"Those two being enough? Don't make me laugh! Those two!"
But suddenly hearing about the other Saiyans on the battlefield, Dai finally would have a flash of thought. As quickly turning his head downwards, he would think,
the God Killer isn't the only one to get energy from! Vegeta! He still has more! Far more!
As now looking straight down at the prince, his new target would be set, unbeknownst to everyone else. As naively, both Goku and Vegeta seeing this would just take this as their opportunity to prove Vegito right. As Goku would say, "I think you're spot on, Vegito. You've weakened him enough for us to be able to handle this even without you. And by the looks of Dai, he won't let us stand around like you want anyway." While Vegeta would say,
"No! In fact, he seems to be looking directly at me! Who could blame him? I am the strongest here after all! Come and get it, clown!" What the?
But just as Vegeta would confidently call out, firmly with his eyes on Dai in the sky, he'd be forced to turn his head as he soon feels something pull on him.
What?
And unbelievably from the ground itself, a white hand would emerge to clamp on his foot. This whole scene being a mystery, leaving barely any time for anyone to react before...
What? No, it can't be!
Vegeta's whole face would begin to contort upwards as if on a roller coaster, as momentum would build for a downward pull until... Instantly, with a violent and destructive descent, the prince would be forcibly smashed through the ground, lost from the surface instantly, into a bottomless pit where pulling him down would be none other than the priest himself, who with a crazed look would just yell to him,
"You told me to come and get it! Don't complain now, mortal! Now, give me it! Give me my brother's energy!"
As soon, the reason for Vegeta's targeting is revealed, but just how he managed it will soon bewilder both Goku and Vegito.
Vegeta!
As Vegito, noticing Vegeta's sudden disappearance, would at first look to die, confused as to what other god would be on the battlefield if Dai was right here.
A clone!
But not for long, before like an illusion, the priest before him would expunge into a cloud of smoke.
No! Vegeta! You didn't die!
As now finally realizing what is happening, the God Killer would lose his previous cool immediately. Realizing the shocking move Dai had just now made, and the consequences of it if he succeeds. But ultimately, when we would return to Vegeta, now deep within the dark pit, countless miles beneath the surface, he would be utterly broken, laying flat on his back, having been dragged with such force, near every bone would be broken and every muscle ripped. And what's more, slowly but surely, the darkness that covers his body, the energy provided by Lucif himself, would begin to fade away, along with his white hair returning to black, as the glowing red symbol on his chest would begin to dim and flicker. And eventually, all we would see now is base Vegeta once again. His hair completely black now, and his torso without a trace of Lucif's once domineering power. But this would not seem like a simple power down, but rather something that was stripped directly from him. As shockingly, still gripping his foot would be the white feathered hand of a certain deity, as energy visibly would seep away from the Saiyan directly into his attacker. But with the last of his energy, Vegeta would be able to see what was happening, as the tall figure crouches over him in the darkness, with the Saiyan only muttering,
You...
Now, rest easy, Saiyan. As of course, with a vindictive smile, Dai would be seen staring at Vegeta, watching as he slowly loses consciousness, saying as he does so, I'm almost done. You truly let out a lot of Lucif's energy, didn't you? It's impressive. You held on without letting him loose for as long as you did. But now, it shall return to its rightful place.
What kind of angel are you? Using a demon's power? Say what you must about your brother once being an angel, but you have no pride taking his power out of fear of fighting him. I should have let him loose when I had the chance.
But in defiance, Vegeta would not go out before questioning the priest, as with his eyes barely open, he would also query,
Just tell me one thing. That power you displayed up there with Vegito, you could have annihilated me in Kakarot whenever you wanted. Why save it till now?
Before, with a darkened and extremely cold look, Dai, looking down at his weakened prey, would just reply, It is not that I didn't, but that I couldn't, young Vegeta. This battle is deeper than what you mortals can perceive, but the God Killer knows what he is doing, and has done from the very beginning. He is the one who spat you out, imparting in you his own demonic energy in tow. He allowed you to battle, ascend, and activate more of Lucif's power. Both you and Son Goku were made to get stronger. I too knew this, but I also understand that just like you said earlier, the God Killer would do anything to have his revenge, regardless of how much he doesn't want to, even if it meant unleashing the devil on the multiverse. You two existing are the only reason he has yet to give himself up completely to Lucif. The only reason Lucif has not escaped and used Vegito as his vessel is because that damn Godkiller still believes you two to be his final trump card when you ultimately fuse back. Even now, he denies you even helping, denies you from fusing with him, all because he knows once he does, the only thing left for his backup, if he cannot defeat me, will be my brother. As the great priest, protector of this realm, I could care less about fighting the Godkiller as his mortal form. But I will not allow Lucif to reappear to destroy everything! So starting with you, I will take back that polluted energy that should have never touched a mortal's hands, sealing it away from the Godkiller's grip.
So that's what it was.
Eventually leaving Vegeta almost lost for words in his exhaustion, as he would finally mutter,
"That clown! He fears Lucif's takeover. Doesn't he know if we fuse, Kakarot and I wouldn't let that happen?"
Huh? But just as the last drop of demonic energy would leave Vegeta and enter Dai, the divine priest would sense a rumble all around him.
What are you doing with my energy, Dai?
As with a violent roar and a deep voice, what could only be assumed to be Lucif in the body of Vegito would scream out in anger, grabbing the priest by the hair with force, pulling him instantly off the prince, while the priest, with wide eyes and mouth, would just scream out in terror.
Had a nice chat? You think you know all about me, but the reality is, I just don't need those two clowns to beat a weakling like you!
As Vegito, now tensing his blackened arms, would grip noticeably tighter onto the long white locks of the priest before...
Get back over here! Vegito!
Viciously, with pure strength, giving Dai a dose of his own karma for what he did to the prince, the Godkiller would immediately begin tossing the priest through the ground at rapid speed, smashing through the hardened surface as if it were non-existent. All the while Dai would just appear as a panicked blur, moving at untold speeds back upwards.
Yeah! You think I need anyone, let alone your brother, to beat this level of power? Get real, priest!
And in a nanosecond, Dai would be shot up high into the sky, appearing as a dot from the ground as he would exit the pit like a rocket, his face seemingly full of shock, but curiously, as he would fly uncontrollably, he would just mutter,
Lucif!
Your power!
Eventually reaching the pinnacle of the skyline, losing his momentum as his body would just lifelessly float up above.
Yes! Keep muttering about your brother's power. You'll be able to join him within me soon enough.
and quickly changing his expression from a smirk to pure rage, Vegito would shoot intensely into the sky, chasing after the priest like a beast on the loose. Within mere moments, catching up face first with the priest, whose eyes would seemingly still be closed from dealing with the damage, as Vegito would already have his fist clenched, ready to deliver a debilitating blow. But shockingly, just as the God Killer would move to attack the truly vulnerable-looking angel, out of nowhere, his punch would be stopped point blank from making any form of damage, as holding Vegito's fist with just his palm, Dai would suddenly become coated in a dark red aura, his body seemingly undergoing changes, while his head would be dug down, and for the briefest of moments, the diamond that would be visible on his forehead would flash red.
No! Vegeta's energy! Don't tell me he actually got it all!
Leaving Vegito stunned, as he of all people would know a demon transformation coming up when he sees one.
Die!
As suddenly, Dai, now lifting his head, would reveal his right eye and dual diamonds, now completely red. His hair, now distinctly longer and more untamed, his skin even giving a more pinkish hue, while his right arm turns from white feathers to black. The Grand Priest, the one true angel, has seemingly become corrupted for the greater good, ultimately falling to the same depths as the God Killer to achieve his goal. As looking at Vegito now with a stoic and fearless stare, he would just say, "Power like this can only be wielded correctly by the divine. It is you who is the weakling now, mortal."
You're just like me now! You're no angel!
As now Vegito, cowering subconsciously backwards, would now begin to detect the uncanny similarities between himself and the priest, including the source of their almighty energy. No! We were so close! Not like this! As Goku too would just stare in fear, now being the only uncorrupted warrior left on the battlefield in a sea of demons. I'm no angel! Don't be ridiculous! My colors may have changed, but you are still dealing with the father of all angel kind. Isn't that right, brother? As shockingly, behind the overwhelmingly powerful Dai, the unmistakable presence of the devil himself would be sensed by all in tune with him.
Lucifer!
Petrifying Vegito, as he now seemingly lost for words, begins to realize, with Lucy's power now in Dai's possession too, this battle may become one of who will tap into his great but dangerous power first. But meanwhile, Goku would notice the giant pit from before, sensing intensely, commenting, "Vegeta! His energy is fading. He's down there. Before anything, I need to heal him first." And with that, the Saiyan would then jump straight into the pit and land right in front of the still debilitated prince, who would welcome him.
Come to save me again, hey Kakarot?
But back with Dai, with his corrupted changes now made, the angel would look curiously into his black-stained feathered arm, almost peering at the energy of his brother coursing through his veins, as he would comment, "I mastered this technique, the ability to absorb impure energy, soon after I selected light as my successor, as the 5th of the 5 strongest. Like you, brother, he harbored a darkness within him, an alter ego known as Dark, that once unleashed would bring great ruin. As a failsafe, just in case he ever managed to somehow overpower me, I concocted this ability to seal away his evil energy within. But to think, years later, it would actually be your energy that I would use it for. This stunning destructive power. This is what drove you mad, isn't it, dear brother? This is what made you think you deserve to be the Omni King.
That power that you kept warning me not to use! And now you're the one using it! Having conversations with yourself and all! I knew you were full of it!
Leaving Vegito to now react in anger, frustrated at all the lies and trickery once again from the gods.
What else did you expect? I told you, my energy is key to victory!
As Lucifer, who also still remains within Vegito, would be quick to remind the God Killer, or perhaps manipulate him by yelling,
From the very beginning I told you, if you want your revenge, then make use of my full power! Together, we will get this done! Dai and Zeno will stand no chance! He may possess a fragment of my energy, but his heart lacks the darkness to use it completely. Only you, God Killer, can wield my true power and win!
Shut up!
but in a rage and defiantly, not willing to have to succumb to the pressure, Vegito would just opt to blast out a powerful ball of energy straight at the angel instead, hoping to catch him off guard. And as the powerful ball of black lightning-coated energy would rush towards him, the angel would not make a move, his arm still in front of his face, as with a stoic look, it would fail to budge in expression either. Until he would collapse his hand into a tight fist as Dai's red seraphim eye would begin to glow in tandem. Be gone! And as if the demonic energy had a master, it would turn instantly from the corrupted angel. What? Before instead shooting straight back at the God Killer, leaving the stunned countenance of Vegito to just mutter as his face lights up. This can't be possible! ultimately resulting in the attack exploding harshly back on its owner, leaving now just a dark cloud in its wake as Vegito would eventually be seen, his body now scratched as he would be forced into covering himself with crossed arms.
Die!
And when his arms would slowly descend, then and only then would we see the extent of the true rage and frustration building in the God Killer, as he watches his only obstacle left to his redemption and revenge grow further and further unreachable, as he would grumble,
I will not allow you to win here! This is my victory! My story! If you're going to use that damn Lucifer's power to surpass me, then I will too! I don't care! All that matters is that you gods die!
That's the way, Saiyan!
as within the God Killer, the devil would begin to smile, sensing now the cards have finally been dealt in his hand, perhaps just as he had planned all along. But this premature decision and conviction would soon come to a halt, as Vegito, with pure surprise, would suddenly feel the hands of two figures grab onto him.
You two!
And to his surprise, the two figures would be revealed to be Seraphim Goku and Seraphim Vegeta, now having lost all of his demonic energy, as with the two Saiyans smiling and their hands placed on the God Killer's shoulders, Goku would begin. This battle isn't just yours, Vegito. This isn't just your burden to bear. Trust in us and trust in our power, the power we gain together. It's time, my friend. While Vegeta too would then add,
It sure is, and I'm not taking no for an answer this time. If you think I'm walking around with these chicken feathers on my arm, you have another thing coming. Get ready, Vegito! It's time to refuse!
But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag refuse in the comments down below and let me know just what will happen with refused Vegito on your screen right now in this short preview. Or just find out what happens right now on my Patreon, where you can see the full next video, fully voice acted, soundtracked and edited for you to enjoy with over 4,500 plus other fans, as well as getting access to 250 plus other fan mangas too. It's the deal of the century.